Welcome back, darlings. This video I'm looking at acidic wheel cleaners. So KKD Devils Juice V2, widely regarded as the best acidic wheel cleaner on the market in the UK. But then Detail Bug have got their own one called Black Widow. How good is this in comparison? Acidic wheel cleaners aren't something to be afraid of. Yeah, they can be more dangerous than others, but they're not inherently dangerous, if that makes sense. The same thing can be applied to really heavily alkaline or strong alkaline wheel cleaners that are caustic. They can cause damage, so can these. Now, looking at these products, they're best designed for really, really dirty wheels and cars. That's what I'm going to be using them in a minute. We'll see that, we've got a good example. In terms of price point, the KKD is about £9 for 500ml. And then the Detail Bug is, well, because of their special offer where you bundle 5 products for £30, it works out at £6 a bottle. So that's 500ml as well. That's really good. And both are available in 5 litres. Now that's important because in a trade setting, you do end up using this a couple of times a week, easily. In a Weekend Warrior hobbyist setting, it's useful to have a acidic wheel cleaner in your arsenal, but you're not going to have to use it all the time. And just having it there and available if you're doing yours or even a friend's, you know, good point to have. These both retail for around £30 for 5 litres. You can sometimes get the KKD for about £25, so it can be a bit cheaper at that point, but then at the smaller quantity, which for a hobbyist is where you're going to be at probably, the cheaper nature of this bottle from Detail Bug is good. Now, as long as they're comparable in performance. So let's go and see. So this is what we're working with. Pretty heavily ingrained brake dust here. Now I'm going to pre-rinse one wheel and do the other wheel dry so we can have a comparison in the applications. Rinsing off here with the Nilfisk P200, which is pretty much one of the most powerful domestic pressure washers you can get on the market. This is what we're left with. Still a lot of residual brake dust on the spokes and especially in those gullies behind the spokes. Left hand side I've got KKD Devils Juice, on the right hand side is the Detail Bug Black Widow, and I'm leaving these to dwell. It was around 3.5 minutes in the end. I was watching it constantly, waiting for it to dry, and it's kind of just hit that point now. So as I'm cleaning it with the Easy Brush and the work stuff wheel mitt, I've got Garage Therapy Wheel Shampoo V1 in the bucket. That's why it's so foamy. You can see both of these have done a very good job. This is the KKD Devils Juice side. It's really managed to get into that stuff but in the gully, and that's the really good test. And it's the same on this as well. These are the areas that really I find are quite stubborn to clean, and they're where I actually tend to find that the acidic wheel cleaner is particularly effective. Same deal on this side, not pre-rinsed on this side though, so we're going to watch this during its phase of application and dwell. This was longer, because it was in the shade as well. It was about 4.5 minutes, so about a minute longer. But you can just start to see now, everything's starting to dry out quite a lot. And I realised while looking at the back of the footage, it seemed to be that the Detail Bug side dried out a bit quicker. But in all fairness, this is pretty much neck and neck, isn't it? Like they're both dry-ish now, I would say. So same approach for cleaning them off. And then we'll have a little look at the comparison. They're pretty straightforward, to be honest. A lot of stuff was coming off. You can see the foam and everything is a lot dirtier, especially if I move my hand out of the way. I said if I move my hand out of the way, I got my knee instead. That's good. The foam coming off them is a lot dirtier because the wheel hadn't been cleaned before. However, as you're about to see, it hasn't actually affected the cleaning performance, which I thought was pretty impressive. And I would normally pre-rinse. Now there's an argument that if you apply a product on a wet wheel, it will be diluted and it will run off more quickly. And that's absolutely true. That could happen. What we're seeing here, and the reason I did this, is so we can have a test between the dry application and the wet application. The KKD Devils Juice has been just as effective, so is the Detail Bug. And at 1 to 4, both of them seem to perform well in both situations. I thought that was pretty good. A good test. Interesting to see the difference, or not the differences, I guess, between the dry application and the wet application. And the rate at which the Detail Bug dried out slightly quicker than the KKD. I don't know how useful or relevant that is, but it's just insight, isn't it? The key thing for me to say is I kind of have a watch of this video where I really put Devil's Juice through its paces, and that will show you just how effective an acidic wheel cleaner can be in situations where fallout remover based wheel cleaners, Corosol and Auto Wheel in this case, and Malco break off, left some RS6 wheels very much dirty still, and that's where the acidic stuff really came into its own. But in terms of these two products, side-by-side comparison, easily as good as each other. So in that case, if you're just a weekend warrior, go and grab some Detail Bug. Then while you're there, look at the other amazing products they've got, and especially the prices. Good stuff. If you trade, probably go for the Devils Juice V2 because you need the bigger quantity. Hope that was useful. See you in the next one.